Hi guys, haven't been on the channel for a while because this winter wasn't the best period of my journey, but setbacks are normal. I think in most of the cases it's an inevitable part of the journey, so I think that's okay, and this team worth doing a video. But today I decided to speak about the concept of old self. I decided to make a video about this because yesterday I saw the comment in the Facebook group. Some person wrote how he misses about the old self, and I just remembered vividly how big this issue was for me. I think the first year of my journey I was constantly whining and thinking to myself that how great it was before I started with OCD. My life was like pure paradise, and if I won't feel the same again, in the same way again, my life is not worth living, and the best way to deal with it is to die. That's the reality how I felt, and I just decided to break it down because I think it holds us in the journey. First of all, I would like to say that it's really understandable why we feel like that, because when we first start with OCD, we don't know much about disorder. Our frustration tolerance is low, I guess, and it's really challenging. We don't know what is going on, and we feel like our reality like completely changing, like we living in the different world, and it's understandable that we think how great it was before OCD, because we like most of the time we lived in peace, and it was the life seemed to be really easy, and now we have to deal with symptoms, intrusive thoughts, urges, and everything that OCD throws on us, and it's understandable. But moving forward in the journey, working on our belief system, on our frustration tolerance, behavior, I think we learn to see world in a different light. And looking back on the old self, I asked myself, was it really so great? Was I completely free like a person? Didn't I avoid things? And did I do all I wanted to do in life before my OCD? And answering to me personally, I'll say no. I had a lot of, I would say, OCD tendencies. It was like pre-OCD state. The far I moving in the journey, the clearer I see how that my behavior wasn't like completely free, and I was held by a lot of things, I think that you who is stuck with OCD now wasn't the most rational person before OCD too, because OCD doesn't work like that. You were completely rational person. You had like almost all your beliefs were rational, and then boom, and OCD lashed. It doesn't work like that. And now I just want to describe what person I was before OCD, what holds me back, what disturbed me, speaking in analysis terms, what made me miserable and what made me feel miserable, and maybe you'll recognize something similar in your behavior. So when I was a kid, I was a really boring kid. I didn't show it to my parents or to my friends, but deep inside I was really I would say in the background most of the time I were worrying about something. So I were worrying about my grades, I remember how scary it was to me waiting for some test results. It felt pretty like life in that situation. I remember some nights I even couldn't sleep thinking about it. Also, I now understand I had a belief that if something happened to my parents, I won't be able to stand it. So when they were late, I remember I was really afraid, thinking where they are and playing in my head scenarios that something happened to them. And then I remember this great relief when they came home. So yeah. Also, after watching some stories about criminals, I remember that late at night, when my parents were asleep, I were going to the door and checking if it's locked, because just in case some criminal have an intention to break into our house. So yeah, and also, so I had a lot of these pre-OCD tendencies, some little obsessions. Now I understand that I had some little obsessions, like I remember I watched a video about some Indian guy who had warts all around his body. It was like really rare illness, and these warts were really big, especially on his arms and legs. So it was similar like roots of the tree. And as I told, it was really rare illness, and that time I had some little warts on my arms, and just I became afraid that maybe I have this illness, and it was really it scares me a lot. So maybe few months in the background I played this like worst case of scenario, and it disturbed me a lot. Yeah, so basically it was my childhood. So if my mother would listen this story, she would say, "Oh, I didn't know that this happens to you," because from outside it seemed that I a really happy kid. No one would be able to say that these things were happening inside of me. When I grew up a little, I built a new strategy of behavior, especially with people. I started pleasing them, because I understood that, if I treat them well, they treat me well too, and it actually feels good. And the problem is that I started thinking how to please other people, and didn't think about myself, about my goals and stuff like that. So it wasn't helpful, actually. I was really afraid of a failure. So I was doing things that I do good, but I understand that this can't, this may be not work in my life. Maybe when I start doing this thing, I'll experience a failure. I was afraid to do that. So I remember when on the last grade of the school, a lot of my classmates started getting driving license. I was afraid to do it. I thought that maybe I won't be able to drive a car. So yeah, and I just didn't do it, explaining to my parents and to my friend that, I just don't like a car. I just don't like cars, and I'm not interested in it. I like nature. Yeah. So, this is just example. A lot of things I didn't do and didn't learn because I was afraid of a failure. Then when I became 18, as we have compulsory military service, So I started serving in the military, and by the end of it, I think I had like the first OCD, if I may say like that. It was mild, I think, but now I understand that it was OCD already. So I started thinking that I won't be able to breathe fully. And then I started really, I became really obsessive about that. So I was constantly checking if I may breathe freely, and it didn't feel, I didn't feel like that. So I thought to myself, maybe I had some illness, and I started Googling. I Googled a lot about it, so, and of course I didn't find peace this way. So this was one thing, and then I did the thing that I'm not proud of in the military, and I was obsessive about it. So it was like real event OCD. And when I finished my serving, I think during a few months I was obsessive about my breathing and about this real event. But a lot of things happened in my life. I found some friends. We started a group, music music band. And also I entered university, so a lot of things happened in my life, pleasant thing, and I eventually forgot about it. So from time to time I was thinking what was with my breathing, and I thought to myself, maybe, I don't know, I didn't have an answer, and also this real event didn't seem to me like the most horrible thing in the world. So yeah, and so I was already adult person, and I still was avoiding a lot of things. I had friends, but close friends. And in this group of friends, I was really, how to say, like they said, I was like the soul of the group. I was joking a lot. I tried to please them all. I was afraid to say no to them. So I was really good friend to have, because when they ask me something, okay, yeah, no matter what is going on in my life, I constantly said yes to them. I was joking a lot because I was afraid that what if they think I am some boring person or something like that. I tried constantly to prove that I'm interested. I am interested for them. And so yeah, this close group of friends, I was like open to them, and really I liked spending time with them, but I was really close to other people. Deep inside, I was afraid to socialize, and I explained it to myself that I just they are like maybe stupid people, because I'm also smart, because that time I've been reading a lot, and I think it was another form of avoidance of the real world. So I've been reading, and I just explained it to myself that yeah, because I like to read, I like to how to prove myself by reading, because I just want to know a lot of things about the world, about the history, about the philosophy, and those people, they are just stupid and not worth to spend time with them. But it was just classic avoidance, and now I understand that I just this way I just rationalized my avoidance. The same with girls. It was a big issue for me, because deep inside, I was really afraid to talk to girls and especially to have a relationship with them. And during my 20s, it was another big pre-OCD tendency because, as I told, I were afraid to have a long-term relationship with girls. So when I have a girlfriend and we started dating, and in the time that it seemed to me that it's going too far, I remember I just wrote a message that it is not going to work. I was even afraid to tell it directly. So yeah, and again I explained it to myself that I just a person who wants to be free and who wants to do whatever I want to do and spend time as I like to do, and I don't want to spend too much time to the another person, and also the biggest issue with girls that I hide from everyone. I was really afraid of the failure, during the intimacy. So sex to me was a really scary thing, and sometimes I've avoided it because I was afraid that I'm not going to perform it and everybody will laugh at me, because there are obvious reasons. So even when I had intimacy with girls, I was really afraid, and I had little enjoyment. Also with work, I didn't apply for a well-paid job because again I was afraid of failure. I thought, what if I'm not qualified for it? What if I'm not smart? And then they will quit me, and I will feel horrible. I will think that I am really stupid person, and I'm really miserable and rotten. So you can see what beliefs hold me back. A lot of rational beliefs, and the biggest one that I must do well in order to accept myself. And I just rationalize it that I'm not interested in these rat races. I would rather study philosophy and reading good literature, good books, and these things racing for the money is not about me. So you can see how. And I just describe things that I remember now, but of course there were more of them, and you can see how it holds me back. And of course I didn't suffer chronically, but you can see that I lived in the prison even back then. It was comfortable prison. It felt good to avoid things, and when I found some rationalization for me, I felt, I just that person. Maybe I'm not like everyone else, but maybe because I'm different from them, maybe I'm better this way. So, as I told, it was comfortable prison, but it was still a prison. And now, of course, when I started suffering from OCD, having no knowledge about it, it was really challenging. I wanted just to kill myself because I didn't see another way out. But thankfully for OCD recovery, all this information, all books, all work that was done and that had to be done, it changed my perception of the world and beliefs, and now I can see how irrational I was, and my old self, it wasn't something that I lost and that I should really miss about this person, because this person was suffering too, not chronically but still. And I think that, as I told, if you're chronically suffering from OCD now, it can be really challenging, and you're really missing about the person that you were before. Try to think if you didn't have a lot of things that hold you back and made you be really disturbing, really worrying person, and that hold you back. So yeah, I'm glad that I did a video on this theme, because I think it's really important and it holds us back in the journey, because we, instead of moving forward and changing our belief, we constantly looking back and trying to get in this spot that we were before, but first of all, it's impossible, and secondly, we have to move forward and move forward to the another person that waits you in the end of your journey. And believe me, this person, I think, would feel more happier and free in the life than old one. Thank you guys, and have a good day. Bye.